Well, hello there. Welcome back. Total OS Today. Total technology for beginners and beyond. Well, last month, yeah, I think it was last month, wasn't it? Boy, time flies. Anyway, last month I mentioned I had a poll up. I suggested you guys tell me what your favorite top Linux distributions are for 2014. Now, one or two of you mentioned, gee, I guess Debian won't be on the list, will it? Well, no. But to be fair, I thought I would take a look at Debian. At least first take a look at the install process and see if this is something that might be suitable for beginners. As far as the install process goes, I believe it is suitable for beginners. So I thought I would take a look at this, at least at the install process. Now this does have a user-friendly installer, a graphical installer, or a non-graphical installer. Basically, what this means is if you are new to this, you will not have to do any sort of custom partitioning. At least I didn't have to do any sort of custom partitioning. The option is there. This does it automatically, and basically what it did, it went through the install process, and I believe it does a swap partition, extension for partition root or / I believe. Now if you are a beginner and have no idea what that means, that's okay. This will do it automatically for you. Now the install process took about 50 minutes, and to be honest, I don't know if that's good or bad, normal or not. Honestly, at this point, as long as it works, I really don't care if it takes 10 minutes or 50 minutes. But that being said, I did not have any issues installing this so far, and I just basically installed this in a virtual box just to see what it would look like. But for something like this, I think if you are a beginner, I don't think you'll have any issues installing this. Now, I'll let this run here for a few minutes. When I did the original recording, I did pause, and continue. There's about 12 minutes of this. I won't go through all 12 minutes of this. I don't think it's necessary. But I do believe that as far as the install process goes, this does have a automatic installer, a beginner's Linux installer, a newbie installer, however you would like to call that. And I say those terms with all the respect that I can give you, of course. I did not see any issues. I think if you are new to this or maybe have tinkered with Linux in the past, I don't think you would have a problem installing this. Of course, it wouldn't hurt to take a look at the documentation. There is I believe it's on their website. It does have some information on how to install this. Basically what I'm doing up here is setting up username, passwords, pretty much self-explanatory. Since I was just doing this in a testing environment, I just did a very short 3-digit password. As you can see here, configuring the clock, time zone, Eastern, configures it pretty much automatically. Configuring clock, disk, detecting disks, and this does all the partitioning for you. Alright, in my situation, I chose use entire disk. If you wanted to do custom partitioning, you would scroll down to manual. Now for some distributions, I also tested another distribution based on Debian that's easy to use. That would be Point Linux, but Point Linux I don't believe has an automatic installer. So let's see here, all files in one partition. There it says recommended for new users. It doesn't get any much more simple than that, guys. Recommended for new users. I just click continue. And yes, this does a 2 partitions, swap partition, and a / root extension for partition, logical and primary, and finishing partitioning. Write changes to disks, yes. I click yes and continue. I mentioned Point Linux. That one has the old classic GNOME 2 desktop environment pre-Ubuntu Unity. That one I don't believe had an automatic installer. So I had to do some custom partitioning. It took me a few minutes to figure it out. It's been a while since I've done any custom partitioning. I prefer the automatic installers. But basically with that, I had to let's see, format for a swap partition, and I believe a root partition / now of course you can do other partitions if you so choose to, but you need at least those two, and I got that one up and running. But this one has the automatic partitioning, automatic installer. Now from here it'll go into installing the base system, picking up packages, installing updates. I do believe this is all part of one process, and maybe that's why it took a little bit longer than I thought it should. But again, if this all works, that's no big deal. I'm just fast forwarding here. Alright, let's see here. These were highlighted by default. Debian desktop environment, print, server, standard system utilities. I didn't change any default settings. I just click continue. As would a new user, probably follow the same procedure the way I did. And this is the website here. It's Debian, let's see, 7.7 Wheezy, I believe it's called. Now there are different branches of Debian, including the, I believe they're stable, unstable, and testing. Obviously, I chose stable to keep it simple, and I will have a link below in the show notes if you wanted to try something like this. So, and I believe here it's almost done. Yeah, finish installation. Installation is complete, so it is time to boot into your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media, CD-ROM, or if you use a USB stick, so you can boot into your new system rather than restarting the installation. And you know what? That was pretty much it. I did not run into any glitches. Again, I don't really mess too much with Debian itself. But if I was a beginner, I don't think I would have a problem. I don't think you would have a problem installing this. So you may want to check this out. They use Debian, from my understanding, does not use cutting edge, usually in the stable branch, not the latest software, not the latest cutting edge. They are more interested in stability, which means usually older software, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So for those of you who prefer Debian, Debian was not on the list. It did not get enough mentions, enough votes, but at least the install process, I will give this a thumbs up. Maybe later on in the future I'll take a look at the actual operating system itself. But that's it for now. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching and listening as always. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for my possible further adventures into Debian.